got born again as a teenager, became a pastor at the age of 21. On the 31st of October and the 1st of November this year, 2024, I'll be marking 35 years in ministry with a 2 days Global Pastors and Ministers Conference. So for the past 38 years of my life, I've been in church, and 34 plus of those years I've been in ministry. Because I came into the body of Christ and I came into the kingdom very early as a teenager, I learned a lot through the Scripture Union, Christian Union, and the revival that we experienced on campus. And by virtue of that, everything about my life was moving fast. What took many people years to achieve was just happening like that. Before I was 30, at the age of 27, 28, I was hosting the largest singles conference on the continent. That's, Wisdom for Singles. We're gathering 14,000 people every 3 months. CNN came to interview me, BBC came to, so everything was going on fine. But there was still one thing that was not working, and that was my finances. And I did not know that something was wrong with my finances until I made the first greatest mistake of my life. I got married in 1997 as a poor man. And I suddenly realized that when you are single and poor, there can be an excuse for your poverty. When you are single and poor, there can be an excuse for irresponsibility. But don't ever try to be poor as a married man, because there is no romance without finance. If you think love is blind, marriage will open your eyes. I fell for the trap of I love you the way you are. I was born again, honest and naive. And I did not understand that naivety will put me in trouble. So when I got into the relationship, I told the woman, you know what, this is who I am. I'm a pastor. I have 200 members. I've written this book, that book. I believe my future is bright. She said, no. It's not about money. I love you the way you are. And I fell for the trap. I did not know that I love you the way you are does not mean I love you to remain the way you are. I did not know that I love you the way you are was a statement of faith. That when a woman tells you I love you the way you are, she's honest and sincere. But she has a calendar in her subconscious mind that if I suffer with this man, at least the way they go, within 2 to 3 years, maximum 5 years, he go change. He go blow. In this kingdom, we don't blow, we grow. If you jump up, you will come down. If you grow up, you will stay up. We don't blow, we grow. So, and if at the end of that expiration, your story does not change, our own story will change. So even though I was honest and sincere, I suddenly realized that I was not a man. I thought I was a man until I started hearing, you are not a man. Are you a man? He that cannot take care of his house is worse than an infidel. I say, I'm me, a pastor. Pastory people, gathering 30,000 people. I'm not a man. Wait, because I don't marry, I don't be mad again. Then I realized that this is terrible. Then I make the second greatest mistake of my life. I impregnated my wife as a poor man. As the pregnancy was growing, my confusion was growing. As the pregnancy was growing, my depression was growing. And sometimes we sit down and we ask, are you a man? When you are mentally abused, today I say my mental health, we don't suffer mental health. We don't even know the definition of what we suffer. Then in my frustration, I cried out to God. I will never forget. I cried out, I said, God, I'm tired. All my life I've served you. My mates are doing all kinds of things I didn't do. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't womanize, I pay my tithe. Church, they say, if you bring your tithe, things will not be tight. If you are suffering, give your offering. All those cliches. When you enter trouble, you will reassess the revelation. So I began to cry, and every scripture I threw at God, I just kept hearing, who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Then, for the first time in my life, I suddenly realized that many of the things I held on to, I did not have a personal conviction about. I suddenly realized that many of the things I believed and practiced was based on pastor said, bishop said, reverend said, papa said, not encounter with the Lord for myself. I suddenly realized that I was nothing but a religious person, not a Christian. Then I realized that Christianity is not a religion, but a relationship with your Creator. Christianity is not a religion. Religion is more dangerous than the devil. When you practice Christianity as a religion, you'll be a pawn in the hands of charlatan. You'll be a victim of the religious interpretation and the myopic interpretation of scriptures of the people you listen to. And for the first time, God told me, if you really want to be free, let me show you the way out. And it took me from Genesis to Revelation and began to show me from the word the way out of poverty. I was seeing scriptures that I never saw before. Scriptures that we have interpreted based on religion. I was reading from another translation, Occupy till I come, that they used to tell us to be holy. I saw that it is do business till I return. He gave gifts unto men that we thought it was ability to sing, ability to dance. I saw that the gift was money. I said, hey, couldn't you have put my money in the bank so that at my coming, I will have it with interest? I suddenly realized that many of the scriptures we have put religion into has nothing to do with religion. And I said, wow, Lord, show me how. And in 8 months, I had an encounter with God, 1997 to 1998. For 8 full months, I was like a madman. And God gave me an assignment. Don't forget, there was no Google now. No Google. Google did not exist, nothing. And God told me, go and see. He said, who is the richest man in Africa? Who is the richest man in North America? Who is the richest man in Asia? He began to ask me, who is the richest man in all the continents of the earth? None of them were born again. He said, so if all the rich people are not in church, does that not tell you something, my son? Did they get the money from the devil? Did they get it from money? He said, so I said, God, I don't understand. So he began to show me. And guess what? I studied the rich and wealthy people on the face of the earth. I studied their life. I studied because the success leaves clues. Hello? Life is lived forward but understood backwards. That's why you look and say, if I knew what I know now, it's because you are growing. And I began to study and I saw that every rich man, every rich woman on the face of the earth, there were things that were common to every one of them. And I'm like, wow, where have I been? You know, it's amazing how you will come to church and they will tell you read Bible, and then when you want to read other book, they say that's secular book. And you went to school. Is it Bible you read to become a surgeon? Is it Bible you read to become a lawyer? So you go to school, academic book is okay. But to read other books that will help your mind to develop is not okay. Why? And then we're just reading how to cast out devils, 7 ways to heal the sick. Instead of healing our ignorance. When I came out of that encounter, I knew exactly what to do to come out of poverty. I began to practice it, and in 2001, my story had changed. And I saw that, you mean in 3 years, somebody's life had just changed like this? I was still doing what I was doing, but now with a different mindset and with a different strategy. And I say, wow. He said, now that you know it, go teach your people. I began to teach my people. I saw results. He said, now go teach my people. I had to teach my people and then his people. Go teach my people how to create wealth. And that's how the mandate for this assignment came. So I want to share with you today what I've simply entitled the journey to wealth creation. The journey to wealth creation, or the journey to financial freedom. And like I said, it's a journey. Wherever we stop, we stop. You get the other things in the materials. The journey. Because what I want to deal with today is to deal with the software. Because once the software is settled, once the engine is settled, every other thing will take shape. Because when you want to study, there are different ways to learn. One of the ways to learn is emulation. You emulate what somebody else is doing. One of the ways to learn is observation. You observe what other people are doing. You know, when we start learning, when you go to school, when the children start in the elementary school, the first thing they do is to begin to scribble. They begin to scribble. They just scribble. Why? Because they are trying to connect their hands to their brain. There's a connection. It's like when you have a mouse and you want to make connection. So they begin to scribble. And the next thing they begin to do is to begin to give them numbers and figures. So they do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or A, B, C, D, A for apple. Now, you find out that the 26 alphabet, A to Z, every word that have ever existed, every word that exists, and every word that will ever exist in the English language come from those words. So once you know A to Z, you have the engine. You have all the potential. What you now need is to know what BOY means or what BALL means. Boy, all the things you need are there. Same thing, 0 to 9 is where all the numbers will come from. 0 to 9. Every other thing is a combination of that 0 to 9. So what I want to do today is to give you the A to Z and 0 to 9. Give you the engine. And once you have that engine, then you begin to, some of the engine you will get today, we just bring perspective to what you say, okay, no wonder. You just begin to click them together. Bones will begin to locate bones. And out of the valley of dry bones, an army shall rise. So let's start. When it comes to wealth creation, there are 5 people on the journey to financial freedom. So we need to begin with diagnosis. So if you get the books, the first thing in the book is what we call the financial intelligence test. Because without a proper diagnosis, there cannot be a proper prognosis. Many times we think that somebody is our mate. Nobody is your mate. You are in a world and in a class all by yourself. Even twins that came from the same womb are not mates. One came before the other. So you need to do a diagnosis of yourself. So in the books, when you get it, you see 26 questions that you need to answer that will help you to be able to do a proper diagnosis of yourself, because many times you are surrounded by people that don't tell you the truth. And they make you believe all is well when it's not well. But when you are not there, they tell the other people it's not well. Oh. But they made you. Haven't you seen people that dress terrible? And you are feeling, you are like, did you not look at the mirror before you left the house? But when you see their friends, hey girlfriend, babe, you slay, you are slaying. They'll be hailing them in their stupidity. And then when they go, they say, now wow, nobody did to see how she dressed. But you were hailing her. So many times, if you don't have people telling you the truth, you need to do a self-diagnosis. So that's what the book will first do. Every one of them will just see it first thing, diagnose yourself. So now, let me give you the 5 levels so that you know where you stand. Now, on the pyramid of wealth, there are 5 levels. In moving to financial freedom, the people at the bottom are the people that we call they are in financial crisis. Financial crisis. And that's where majority of people live. United Nations have defined living in poverty as living below $2 a day. And living below $1 a day is extreme poverty. So in Africa today, about 75% of people on the continent live in poverty. In Nigeria today, 81%. Right now, about 74% of Nigerians are below the age of 35. Our median age now is oscillating between 19, 18, 19, 18, 19. So we are a young continent, we are a young population. So many people on the continent are poor. They are in that level of what? Financial crisis.